So Meghan has always wanted to be a role model for girls. And you can imagine that part of being a model is your actions that speak for yourself. It's not that much what you say, because, well, on paper and in words, you can say anything, but it's your actions that speak volumes. Now, I know the topic of this video is gonna be a bit controversial, especially for the subject matter that we're touching today. Because thanks to Truth4U888 on Twitter, we have this collage of pictures of Meghan in, well, I'm not gonna say what kind of attitudes, but in these attitudes, like, I'm not gonna define that attitude, but I'm gonna say that all these pictures have a common trait between them. I'm gonna analyze them one by one to see what is that common trait. But you already have an idea, right? Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and we have enough records of Meghan wanting to be that role model. This is from June 2018. Why Meghan Markle is a good role model for young girls. Princesses have always proved influential to young girls across the globe with their kindness and bravery, creating a long-lasting impact. Meghan Markle is an example of a good role model for young girls. Even for her marriage to Prince Harry, Markle has had success both in her career as an actress and in her humanitarian efforts. Tell me, what does this look like? And in regards of body language, we see common tropes here. I don't know, sadly, I apologize because I don't know all the names of the men in these pictures. Some of them are just anonymous, but still we can go directly to the body language to see which patterns can we spot that repeat in at least 15 instances, the pictures that you see here. So let's start with this one. I already analyzed this picture. This is with Larry King. She was with Larry King twice in his show. And some of the characteristics that we can see in this pose is that there's a contact between the heads. You see it. There is closeness in the way she puts her hand on King's shoulder and also puts her hand on his arm. So there's a lot of touch in there, not to mention the way she leans onto him. Okay, and I can guess that there's also this approximation. I can't say that they are touching their bodies in there, but we cannot confirm that. We can guess that they're really close. At least the heads are touching, and yes, at the same time he is bringing her close to him. Now let's move on to the one right next to him. What do we have in here? We have the same hand on the shoulder, the same contact between the heads, and this time she is not hugging the man, but she is putting her hand on his chest. And, well, the same as King, he is bringing her closer to him. Now, you might be thinking that this is some kind of joke, right? What is the body language guy doing in this so-called analysis? Well, this is important because this is a way that we identify patterns of behavior in any person. When you see that some traits repeat in videos, in photos, in real life, okay, this is part of the person's baseline. This is how the person reacts in these situations. When you see a deviation from that baseline, well, something has happened. But in this case, we have two pictures where Meghan is reacting the same way upon taking a picture with a man. And at the same time, she's also doing the Zoolander thing in here, like the Ferrari look. Yeah, that. Yeah, classic Meghan. Here we can see the same patterns or the same traits. The hand, I'm not gonna call it the Markle claw this time, but the hand over the back or the shoulder of the man. There's a contact between the heads, and we can guess that they are really close together. What happens is we just go upwards. All right, I remember this picture. This was at an event. I think she was graduating from I don't know, was high school or something. I remember this picture, but I don't know what was the circumstances. But still, well, I think he was the manager or something of the place that she was at that moment. they were having a good time, I guess. You can see the same traits again. That head touching, she leaning into the man, that full body touch. And well, in this case, we have a change. Well, she couldn't put her hands on, well, she was not facing him, so it would have been really difficult to put her hands on his shoulders. So let's count this as an outlier. But yes, there's a lot of body contact in this. This is another picture that, well, repeats the same again. The heads touching, the hands on his shoulder, and, well, he is reciprocating, bringing Meghan closer to him. I think she was sitting on his lap. At least there's something that we can say about Meghan. She's got consistency. And what about this gentleman here? Okay, has a nice suit, by the way. There's the head touch. There's the, well, in this case, the shoulder touch, I guess. This is the most vanilla of them all, I think. You know, I'm going to ask the question. When was the last time you saw Meghan acting like this with Harry? Let's continue our journey because, well, we have a couple more pictures to go. This one, okay. Well, we don't know where Meghan's right hand is, so that will be an incognito, a question mark. We don't know where her right hand is. I would like to know, what do you think? Where do you think her hand is in the comments of this video? And, well, even if she's leaning a bit away from him, there's no doubt that there's a lot of body touching in here. Okay, a lot of contact along all the torso. And she looks glad of being in that position, in that moment, and having that picture taken. So, I guess she's enjoying this. We continue with our next one. Oh, another vanilla one. And this one, we still have the hand. No, really, is the marker claw. It's her signature move. And the head touching, maybe. I think there's some head touching in there. And of course, she is really, really close to the man. You see that we can spot this body language traits repeating over and over again. That's why I tell you that it's dangerous. It will be of no use if you try to make sense of body language with just one picture. You need many pictures to have this pattern. You need many pictures to be able to look at the forest. Moving on to the next one. Okay, in this case, all right, the man is standing in a very masculine way. The marker claw is right up there where it usually is. His hand is on her back, but let me zoom in. It doesn't have that much pressure. I think he was not that comfortable with that. He was not that comfortable with that gesture. Notice that he's a bit stiff, he's a bit uncomfortable. In fact, his other hand is on his pocket. All right, and his body language is really tense. His posture is really tense. Even his face is a bit of an awkward expression. No, he was not. This gentleman here was not comfortable with, well, Meghan being Meghan. So that proves that not everybody reacts the same to the same gestures from the same person. But this is a nice exercise because we can also see those reactions. In the majority of the men we have seen, they are quite comfortable with Meghan. Yeah, all of them. All of them. Let's see what can we find right here. In this, we have the roles reversed. There's no marker claw over the shoulder of the man. Well, the man is quite tall. I could say that is like Harry's size. But again, I have never seen Meghan like this with Harry, like leaning onto him. We see the same full head and body contact. It's like this full contour right here from head to neck to arm to elbow. It's like matching a puzzle. And yes, the guy is really big, so I'm sure that she feels protected, safe with him. That's how a woman should feel with a man. Even so, she's making this protective gesture, putting her left hand over her neck. She looks very feminine using that gesture because that is a desire of being protected. Well, maybe that's how she felt at that moment. And by the way, the guy has a very nice smile, very genuine smile. He feels really comfortable at that moment. The next picture is with the great Rick Hoffman from Suits. We're working together, and yes, you can see that there's a lot of camaraderie between them. They feel very comfortable with one another. Full body in here. The Marco claw rather relaxed. Rick bringing her close to him, and hell, what do you see? There's no head contact in this one. All right, no head contact. Maybe he was sitting or something. Maybe that did not allow her to make head contact. But by the way, there was one man sitting here, and she just sat on his lap. Okay, maybe this man was more, I don't know. I'm not gonna put a word in there, but what is the difference? Why did she sit on the lap of this man and did not do the same thing with Rick Hoffman? Place your bets. I want to see your comments about this. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, Marcus Anderson. With Marcus, she is quite, well, in this case flirty, but not with Marcus, but with the camera. You see, the Marco claw is not around him. It's rather stiff. There is no head contact. Okay, again, I put here no head contact. And well, Marcus is pointing to, how can I say that? I don't know how to say that without. I know that people want a chance to take my channel down. I'm not gonna give them a chance. But you know where is Marcus pointing, right? And why is he pointing at that body part? I don't know. There must be a reason. Another enigma that, well, you are invited to give your own hypothesis about this mystery. So in fact, this is another outlier. She doesn't have the same attitude like in the other pictures as in, well, this with Rick Hoffman doesn't fit with the rest that we have seen. Let's see what happens with this. Well, another one that confirms that hand on the shoulder and that head touch in here. And we can confirm that there's full body contact with that, with that hug. I don't know. It's like people say, what version of Meghan is this? Which Meghan incarnation was this one? This was quite a while ago, right? Because her nose looks, I don't know how to say this, different. Well, in this one, a nice variation. There's absolutely no touch in here. They are not touching their heads. She's not using the Marco claw on him, but that look is really sweet for Meghan. I mean, it's very sweet for Meghan. Another outlier, but we are taking this into account too. And last one. Oh, with Jake Rosenberg. I made a video about Meghan and Jake a while ago. You can look for it on my Body Language Guide channel. And in this one, there's no head touch, but there's that blowing kiss and the double claw in action. So we can say that it fits the description so far. So you know what all this means. I'm not gonna call it directly, but this is a good showcase of Meghan Markle's attitude with men, except with Harry. That has to be said. This is the way that you establish patterns of people, how they interact with other people, what is their body language baseline, why do they act in a certain way with some people, and why do they, in the same conditions with similar people, they act differently. So that is the kind of clues that you begin to pick up with body language, and eventually you can make a profile of the body language of the person and be able to even predict how are they going to act on a given situation. This is the fascinating world of body language, and I thank Meghan for being such a good role model for us. No, wait, scratch role. Just a model for us. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And remember to download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. Much love and bliss.